Hello beautiful people, thank you so much for tuning in, watching, and listening. This is going to be the mid-April 2022 reading for the zodiac sign of Sagittarius. As always, my readings are very intuitive, so I'll provide you any intuitive messages that I receive, but also provide you the meaning of the tarot cards. I do recommend you check out your sun, moon, and rising just to get a full picture of everything that's going on. It's totally fine if you find this video a few days before the middle of the month or a few days after the middle of the month. You'll find it when you need it, Sagittarius. Also, if you have not done so already, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. When you subscribe, that helps me greatly, and also you'll be notified when I post future videos. I typically post a couple Sagittarius videos a month. But that being said, let's go ahead and jump in and get started. In column number 1, we're going to take a look at what's wrapping up and coming to a close, so things that have happened in the last few weeks or month. We're going to do a column, just general, what's going to happen through the end of April. We're going to do a money column, a love column, and in the 5th and final column, we're going to do a message from our future self or spirit guides. We're also going to do 3 yes or no questions, a healing crystal, and a healing note for you. Now let's go ahead and jump in and get started. We're going to pull a summary card here. Again, this is what's wrapping up and coming to a close, Sagittarius. We have the card heat, and when I see this, this is like things are heating up, things are beginning to move. When things moving, there's friction, which means there's heat. So likely things have been moving for you these last few weeks. But let's see what messages we've got. Again, what's wrapping up and coming to a close. Okay, the first card that we have is the 6 of Cups. The 6 of Cups is a card of like nostalgia. This could also be a card of gifts. You see this one person is handing the other person a cup with a flower in it. This could also be a card of reunion. So I do think for a lot of you, you've been reflecting, or there's been a reunion or some sort of surprise gift coming in. The next card that we have is the King of Cups. The King of Cups is a very supportive card. It's also a card of leadership. Leadership is really a word that's sticking out for me as I look through this card. I feel like you have been like in a leadership position, and this could be outside of work, even like in your personal life, but again, leadership, Sagittarius, is really sticking out there. Then at the bottom here, we have the Chariot. Not at all surprised to see the Chariot given our heat card there at the top. Again, the heat is saying that things are moving. Well, the Chariot is the room card. It means that there's action, there's change, you're on a journey. The nice thing about the Chariot too, I'd like to point this out because somebody probably does need to hear this that's listening. Sometimes with the Chariot, you don't always know where you're going, but you just have to know you're going to the right place. Like, you're leaving behind this city and everything that you know, but just know that the Chariot's taking you to the right place. So some of you are on a journey, you're not quite sure you're on the right journey. Just keep on going because it is the right thing for you. Let's take a look. Let's clarify this column, see what other messages we've got here. The first card we have is the Lover's card. The Lover's card is a card of deep love, partnership. It could also indicate having a choice. But for those of you that are having a reunion, I would say that this reunion is likely with a past lover or somebody that you had a very close relationship with. Also, for those of you getting surprise gifts, I would agree that this is also somebody that you have a strong relationship with. The next card that we have is the 7 of Swords. The 7 of Swords is not the best card. It's a card of theft, betrayal, dishonesty, and you see this person is like picking up their swords and running away. So again, going off that King of Cups, leadership was really the card or the word that was sticking out there. I do feel like some of you are leading yourselves or somebody else through something that's not very good, through a theft situation, betrayal, dishonesty, and helping them move on. You're leading them away from this situation. You could be leading yourself or somebody else. The next card that we have is the 3 of Swords. The 3 of Swords is a card of heartbreak, divorce, loss, depression, surgery. Overall, it's kind of a card of low feelings. Typically when I see the 3 of Swords too, it's an indicator that some healing needs to happen, Sagittarius. So a lot of you could be on a journey or on this path to healing. Some of you could be on a journey because you're leaving this heartbreak, leaving this divorce, leaving this depression, leaving this loss. So likely low feelings that are driving this Chariot type change. But again, things are moving, which is good with that heating up card and the Chariot card. Now let's take a look at our next column, which is in general what's happening through the end of April. We have the card Listen. Listening is always good. I'm going to leave you with this note, Sagittarius. Listen before you talk through the end of this month. That's a message that's coming through. Also, make sure you're listening to your body as I cough. When things change with your body, it means something's going on and it's your body trying to talk to you. So if you have a headache, your body's telling you it needs something. If you have a cough, that's your body telling you something's going on. So make sure you're listening before you speak, but also make sure you're listening to your body. Anything your body might be trying to tell you these next few weeks. But let's see what messages we've got. All right. The first card we have is the Magician. The Magician is a great card to have regardless of wherever we have it in the reading. The Magician is a card of very focused creativity. It's turning visions into reality. It's very inspired action. This is like the anything is possible card too. So good feeling to have going into the end of April. Anything is possible. So be really focused on what you want this month. Again, be listening to your inner voice too. Make sure you're fulfilling your highest good. Make sure you're aligned with what you truly want. Be focusing on what you really want. The next card we have is the Wheel of Fortune. For those of you who listened to my readings before, you know the Wheel of Fortune is one of my favorite cards in the entire deck. The Wheel of Fortune is a card of good fortune, good luck. It can also be a turning point with the wheel there. It does feel like some of you are at a turning point or in a transition period, but always turning to a positive direction, but a good money card as well. Then at the bottom here we have the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles is a card potentially of illness, so again, make sure you're listening to your body. Making sure that you're staying healthy there, resting when you need to, exercising and eating in moderation, doing all those good things to take care of yourself. You can do some preventative stuff too, like taking your vitamins and drinking lots of water. So just be aware of that. But this is also a card of worry, sometimes financial worry too. For those of you that are financially worried, I would say I wouldn't be, just because we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Magician. We are going to do a column just on money though. But there seems to be something that you're worried about. So do keep that in mind too. But let's clarify and see what messages I can give you here. The first card that we have is the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is a card of self-defense and feeling like you have to protect yourself against competition. If you look at this person, they're standing there with their one wand, and then there are 6 other wands at the bottom of the card, essentially trying to hit them. Again, this is about focusing on what you want and not what you don't want. I feel like there's something you're working on and people could be like, that's not going to work, or you can't do that, it's not going to happen. And the Magician is saying it is. So even if people are doubting you or questioning you or challenging you, you need to make sure that you stay focused. Again, the Magician is saying that anything is possible, Sagittarius. So you kind of have to block out like the noise that's coming around. The next card that we have is the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is a card of new ideas. It could also be mental clarity. So I would say that as you hit this turning point, there's going to be some new ideas coming in, new mental clarity for sure. And I feel like that probably has something to do with the Magician too, and kind of blocking out the noise. And then at the bottom here, we have the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is a good money card. So again, for those of you with financial worries, I wouldn't have any financial worries. But this is a card of working hard. It's working harder, not smarter. Or excuse me, working smarter, not harder. It's also a card of like enjoying what you're doing. And again, I feel like whatever you're working on, there are people that are like maybe saying it won't work out or what if. But like you just need to keep working on whatever this thing is you're working on, because you're right at the turning point. And again, with the Magician, anything is possible. So block out the noise is my recommendation there. So now let's take a look at our next column, which is anything related to money. So think job, career, finances, businesses you run, investments you have. Again, anything touching money. The first card that we have is the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is a card of like gossip or seeking truth. When I see this card, I always like kind of like warn people like to stay out of the drama, stay out of the water cooler talk, stay away from the kind of gossip. But for some of you, there could be like truth coming out this month or like information that you need to move forward. The next card we have is the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is a great money card. Love to see this really anywhere in the spread, but especially love to see it in the money column. The Nine of Pentacles is a card of luxury, self-sufficiency, financial gain. So definitely good financial news. Maybe you'll have an investment that does very well. You could be getting a bonus or a raise, but financial gains associated with this card. The other nice thing about this card is financial or like self-sufficiency that's associated with it. So even if you're not single, even if you're in a relationship, it's good to be self-sufficient whether you have others you can rely on financially or not. We like to see that self-sufficiency in the money piece. The next card that we have is the Seven of Pentacles. This is a card of patience, hard work, could potentially be delayed success. You see this person planted their pentacles and now they're essentially waiting for them to grow. With that being said, things could be a little bit slower than you thought. I feel like there's something you're waiting on happening, and it could be slow through the end of April too. So there's something that I feel like you're waiting on, that you're being patient around, that still might require more waiting or patience. Let's clarify this column though. The first card we have is the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is a card of victory, award, recognition, and good news. Again, some of you could be getting out that information or finding out that information because the Page of Swords is like a card of truth. So some of you could be getting like good news or recognition or an award. But also, I feel like going back to what I said about the drama, not engaging in the drama, not engaging in the water cooler talk also is going to be a win for you. Take that how it resonates. The next card we have, Sagittarius, is the Judgment card. The Judgment card is a card that's favorable to you. I like to point that out anytime I see the Judgment card. The Judgment is favorable for you, Sagittarius. But with the Judgment, this is a card of clarity. It can also be a card of having to make a decision. But I do think that in general, you're going to start seeing better financial situations for yourself. I want to make sure I say that correctly. So, and what I mean by that is like, there might be a point in time this month where you realize that you are financially independent or can be financially independent, or this financial gain like kind of unlock something in you. So I just feel like you're getting like your money legs and you're feeling really stable, which is a good place to be. The next card that we have is the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is a card of teamwork, collaboration, skill. So two work cards paired together here. With the Three of Pentacles, I would say that if you're waiting on someone or something, and this is like just an example and I don't know that this will like resonate, but if you're waiting on a report, it would help to follow up with whoever you're waiting on it from. Like I feel like teamwork and collaboration is really crucial here as it pertains to this waiting or this patience card. So communicate your needs, I guess, is what I'm getting at there. Now let's take a look at our next column, which is anything related to love. So think family, friends, relationships, children. Again, anything that we put with love. All right. The first card that we have is the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is a very self-sufficient card. It's also a card of honesty. So if you are looking to get into a relationship, be very clear and honest about the things that you want from the relationship. If you're in a relationship, make sure that you're very transparent and communicative and being, again, very honest about what you want or how you're feeling. But this is a card of self-sufficiency. So when I see these type of cards, oftentimes it's a reminder to like take time for yourself, do your own thing, whether you're in a relationship or single there. The next card that we have is the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is a very nurturing card, a very healing card, a very supportive card. For those of you that are in a relationship, I would say that this is a really good relationship. It's being nurtured, it's being loved, it's being supported. For those of you that are not in a relationship, this is coming through that there is potentially some more healing that needs to be done before we really actively pursue a new relationship. Then at the bottom we have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is a very active card. It's a new project, new idea. I would say if you're single and looking for a relationship, this could be a good indicator. Again, we do need to do some more healing. I feel like for you to have a really healthy, successful relationship. If you're in a relationship, be creative about the way you do things. I feel like you need a shake up. You need a little bit of a change up for those of you that are in an existing relationship. Let's clarify this column though and see what other messages I have. The first card we have is the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is a card of needing to rest, retreat, renew. A big word that is associated with this card is solitude. With the Queen of Swords, we were talking about how you need to take time for yourself. So this is just a reminder. I feel like you need to kind of recharge your energy solo. Be giving yourself that time and energy. So definitely take time for yourself to rest, recharge there. The next card that we have is the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups has a couple different meanings. A lot of times it's associated with a lack of fulfillment. It could also be surprise gifts. I do again feel like this is just echoing with the Queen of Cups that there is some healing that needs to happen. Like I don't know that fulfillment is the right word, or lack of fulfillment is the right word, but there's definitely some healing that still needs to happen for some of you. For others of you, this could be surprise gifts. That's what that fourth cup is. So there could be some surprise gifts from loved ones, family, friends, or someone you're in a relationship with this month, going into the end of April as well. The next card that we have is the Eight of Wands. This is a card of speed, action, quick change, news arriving. I was telling you that if you're in a relationship, you kind of needed to shake it up, but it sounds like the universe might be shaking it up for you. So there could be some news coming in if you're in a relationship. If you're single, I do think that there could be a relationship relatively soon on the horizon for you. Again, be focused on that healing and taking time for yourself before you go into that relationship. Now let's take a look at our fifth and final column, which is a message from our future self or spirit guides. You have the card Revolution. So likely there will be a pretty significant change in the way that you're doing something. Maybe not full revolt, but change, I think, is the message that's coming there. Let's see what we come up with. The first card we have is the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is a card of self-imposed restrictions. If you look at this person, they're blindfolded and their arms are bound down, but there are swords stuck in the ground all around, so this person can very easily cut themselves free. You might need to revolt against something that you're doing. Maybe you think a certain way and you've given yourself these parameters that aren't true, and you kind of need to break out of them, Sagittarius. The next card that we have is the Two of Swords. This is very clearly coming through as needing to make a decision. So there will be a decision going into the end of this month. I would say that these are probably likely associated. You're going to have to make a decision to break a certain habit or a certain thought process. Then at the bottom here we have the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is a card of expansion. So I feel like you're going to be expanding the way you think or the way that you behave. Take that how it resonates. But let's see what clarifying messages we have here. We have the Five of Cups. So this is saying that we have low feelings associated with whatever this thing is. The Five of Cups is like loss, regret, grief, lots of low feelings. So whatever this thing is that's bothering you is, again, something that's a self-restriction that you can correct. So once you correct, these low feelings will go away. So it's nice that it's something that's in your control. Those low feelings are also kind of prompting that revolution type energy. The next card that we have is the Ten of Pentacles. This is a card of leaving a legacy. It is very much so a money card, but when I see this card, this is like a long-term card. It means you're doing the right thing long-term. So the message here, Sagittarius, is the right thing to do long term is to, I think, make this change, set yourself free, go through this kind of internal revolution. Then at the bottom here, we have the Justice card. Similar to the Judgment card, this is always a card that's favorable to you. And this is like cause and effect win-win, which makes total sense because, again, there's going to be a huge expansion, whether it's physical, emotional, again, a much needed change for you to kind of realign. Now at this point in time, I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask 3 yes or no questions. We're going to use the Gypsy Witch fortune telling deck. If you don't have questions in mind, you can pause the video and think of them really quick. But for question number 1, we have the 4 of Spades. This is number 49 card. That's going to be a no. Question number 2 is the 2 of Hearts. This is number 19 card. That's going to be a yes. And question number 3, we have the 9 of Diamonds. This is the 39 card. That's also a yes. So no, yes, yes for you, Sagittarius. If you watched our video earlier this month, we pulled a card from our Healing Stones deck, which is a crystal to keep with you through the month of April. Your crystal is Ruby. It helps give you joy of living, lust. It's very spontaneous. It gives you that joy of life, helps with momentum and passion. Last but not least, we're going to pull a card from our Healing Notes deck, a healing message for you. Healing takes courage, and we all have courage, even if we have to dig a little to find it. Thank you so much, Sagittarius, for tuning in, watching, and listening. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how this video resonates with you. Also, when you subscribe, that helps me greatly, and you'll be notified when I post future videos. If you feel inclined, I'd include my Venmo in the comments box if you'd like to make a donation. But thank you again, Sagittarius, and have a wonderful April.